what's up? Welcome to a BlackSwanRadio.com production. I'm your host, Rondale L. Jordan. If this is your first time here, this is your new destination for Worldview conversation and flight music. I'm a big proponent of travel, exploring the Word and the world of God. I believe that the world is God's greatest sanctuary. To me, everything else seems to be a theater. I could be wrong, but one thing I was thinking about today is that you can give all the advice in the world, the best advice in the world. You can tell someone that they need to pray and give gratitude for everything we have and define what it is that they want to achieve here in this life and set those goals and be determined to get those outcomes. And you can tell them to meditate and clear your mind and, eliminate the noise. Take control of your domain, your environment, your spirit, your vibrations, your frequency. You can give insight, but what I've realized is this insight is abundant. So much so it should be common knowledge. If it isn't common knowledge, it means that the people are kind of just not attracted to that, just not choosing the knowledge. And I used to feel like when you're young, when you have this you feel compelled to help shape society in a positive, impactful way. But eventually society will show you that it is much stronger than you think it is, because you're outnumbered. It is society that dictates the culture. People just like to have an adversary, an opposing side. They like belonging to a side. So you're always going to have opposition in this world. You're always going to have conflict. You're always going to have all kinds of noise. But your focus shouldn't really be on, the war over here, the politics here, or which celebrity scandal is the next hot topic. When we look into the world, it's kind of like looking into a crystal ball. In many different ways. And it should be telling you something, like a forecast. Or you telling it a forecast. Meaning that this is the outcome that I want to do, or this is what's happening in the world. And based off of what's happening in the world, how do you want to maneuver? How do you want to position yourself? What kind of lifestyle do you want to put yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? And how does that look practically? Break that down. What moves is going to require to be made in order for it to happen, and what are the variables preventing it happening? this helps you determine your timeline on when it can happen. But the point I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of noise out here, man, on the internet. And it's all really designed to distract us from having our third eye focused on the worldview. World matters. Serious things. I mean, at a certain point in our lives, we're supposed to grow into a new stage where we're not really so much occupied by games and jungle gyms and minuscule entertainment. During the midst of a pandemic, when the Western Hemisphere was being shut down, meaning that you weren't able to travel beyond the boundaries. Borders were shut. Okay? Now, a lot of people who don't necessarily travel internationally, that really doesn't resonate with them. They don't relate. I wasn't going anywhere anyway, right? So it doesn't really hit home that much. But for someone who has traveled, or travel frequently, the idea of not being able to leave your country, being locked in, is serious. All right. And they said at that time this was a reset. This was a exercise equivalent to war games, to synchronize the global systems, to update, upgrade, get everyone on, one page. And we learned that the central headquarters is going to be the World Health Organization. So we learned, whether we like it or not, the framework of this new stage, this new age, this new world order that we are in. Now, most of us, probably feel like, well, we've just gone back to normal, right? And that, the system, the things has opened up again. And there is no such thing as a normal, because even to this day, there are remnants of that era, that age. You still see people walking around with masks on, more now than before. Many of our family structures are different than they were before. There is a difference in the social atmosphere post-pandemic. And I say all of this to really say that this isn't really the time to be occupied with Cat Williams and Steve Harvey and, beef on, Club Shay Shay. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you can do that. But at the end of the day, what is it? Is it tearing people down? It's the demise and the downfall. And then all I really see in Cat Williams is just really, boost his own ego with, hey, it is what it is. But he just tell you, this is what I do, and this is what they do. This is what I do, this is what they do. Okay. If that's your icon, that's your icon. If that's the image of the man that you desire to become, fine. But it only fortifies the premise that we need to be building abroad. We need to be looking at the world and making international determinations. We need to be considered or concerned about when there are global lockdowns, global shutdowns, and have a plan of action in case it happens again. What position are you going to put yourself in? You see what I'm saying? And, people really don't know the significance of this. And, a lot of guys, we talk about, weapons. And, guys are stocking up on guns and ammunition. You even have people building, building up food supply and, these type of, this concept. And what I tell these guys is that, number one, ammunition is heavy, right? Ammunition is heavy. The bigger the weapon, the bigger the ammunition, the heavier the ammunition. And what this means is now you are going to not be able to transport, or you're going to have to use a source of transportation that is going to have to be able to haul, food supply, numerous people, weapons, ammunition. And this makes you very vulnerable, when you're transporting. This is when pirating occurs. It's all kinds of different things that you're going to know. So you need to deal with variables that you're going to have to deal with if you're being stationary, because there's going to be a lot of people mobile. Going from place to place, pirating, looking for supply, looking for food, because it's not like you're going to just be able to go to Walmart or McDonald's. The systems, when the systems were shut down, only the essential services were permitted. There were curfews imposed. There were regulations, meaning that you had to wear masks. You had to stand certain amount of distance between each person, 6 feet between each person. There were spots being put in the stores where you had to stand. We exercised a very controlled, restrictive way of life for a short period of time. For a dose. They gave us a dose of a possible reality. And it occurred, boom. In 1 hour. We get notice about these are the measures, and there was all types of tactics and politics and manipulation and all kinds of things that were being used to impose these measures. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, I was in Zanzibar in 2020. At that time, President John Magufuli was presiding over he was the president of Tanzania, which included Zanzibar. And, he was an educated man. I believe he was a chemist. He was skeptical of what was transpiring, and he did his own test and sent samples that were from various different things that were not of the human being. And when he was receiving test results back as if they were human beings, he knew that something was going on with this testing. Something was going on. So he was encouraging his people to move on, do not panic, to consume garlic and make sure that they boost their immune systems and be extra